Courtney, and today you're joining me for the start of a reading vlog. I figured I would do a reading vlog this week because, I'm starting this on Tuesday, but I'm off Thursday and Friday. Friday is the 4th of July. Thursday is just, why not? It's summer, might as well get the day off, and I'll have lots of time to read this week and this weekend, and so thought I would kick off the vlog. At first I thought I was going to do it daily, and then I just decided I'll just put it all together. The 4th of July, although, you know, there's a lot going on in America, and we don't over here agree with all the things that are happening, most of the things. 4th of July has always been a very fun family day for us. It has nothing to do with patriotism, unfortunately. Like, I wish we lived in a country where like that felt great, but it doesn't. But we've always had a big thing on 4th of July. We always play games, we get outside, it's like competitive, it's seafood, it's like, it's a good time. So we're excited about that. So I wanted to hop on and just get the week started. So let's start off with what I finished, because I did my wrap up. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you go do that. And I think I left off with finishing our book of the month for June for our book club as members. And by the way, welcome. If you're new here, check out the content on my channel and see if this is a place you'd like to subscribe to. If you are returning, thanks so much for coming back. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for post notifications, and if you're interested, check out memberships for a couple extra perks on our channel. One of the perks is a book club, and you can be at any level of the membership to do the book club. Right now it's small because we have a small membership, but it's easy to pick a book because there's just a couple of us. But we read Battle of the Bookstores, and so I talked about that, so I know it's the last book I talked about. So then yesterday, I decided to start and finish Stacy and the Bad Girls. This is Babysitter's Club book number 87. If you're new here, hi. I am rereading the Babysitter's Club books from the beginning in publication order, including the super specials, but not the mysteries. This is a well-loved series of mine from being young on up. I've reread them several times, but I've never actually read the whole thing through. I have cherry-picked the ones that I liked. And now I'm just on my 2-year journey of reading. So I'm on book 87, just finished that. I love this one because this book follows Stacy, who has recently sort of left the Babysitters Club. The situation was Stacy had a boyfriend, Robert, and his friends started sort of hanging around, and just like all people outside the Babysitters Club, they felt like the Babysitters Club was taking up a lot of time, and that Stacy wasn't able just to be herself and have fun. And so Stacy kind of felt the same. She had a big blow up with Babysitter's Club members, and then she's kind of been out for the last couple of books. Well, in this book, she gets a job because at the ripe age of 13, she needs to be making money if she's not going to babysit, and she gets a job at this department store that her mom works at, Bel Air's, and they have like a little kiddie zone, and so she does like basically babysitting there. And so while she is doing that, the new friends are all over the place. They're like coming to hang out with her all the time. They are waiting out after her shift is over. They've asked to use her code for getting discounts. And so they're just kind of being mooches in general. The story culminates with the group of friends going to the You4Me concert, which is just some Babysitters Club, Stony Brook, universe band that is big for Stacy, and the other girls bring alcohol, and that unfortunately gets Stacy in trouble. And so basically, long story long, we get Stacy rejoining the Babysitters Club. Now I was irritated at the end because Christy always was like, well, you can be part of the Babysitters Club as probationary period. And it's like, girl, she's already been a babysitter, so we're good. So then I have been on my, so I go in and out with NetGalley, and you know, when you do NetGalley, obviously you have to have a bit of a not fan base, a bit of a following, and you have to have a good percentage of books that you rate in comparison to the books that you are approved for. And so I go off and on. Sometimes it's at 80%, sometimes it's at 70%. 80% is like the threshold where you're going to pretty much get everything. But even at 80%, there's some publishers you just don't get. Like I never get Berkeley books. And I don't understand because they asked me to be part of their like online version of eArcs, but I don't get any of their eArcs on NetGalley, so whatever. But I have quite a few, so I decided to pick up the book Daddy Issues by Kate Goldbeck. This book is, the author is the same person who wrote You Again, which was sort of like the When Harry Met Sally trope, super cute. And this book, I don't know much about it yet, so that's exciting. I actually don't want to ruin it. I know it's a romance. Right now we've started with our main character. She lives in this apartment complex and she's just kind of talking about it. There are a certain type of people that live there. It's like her, single, there's old people, and then there's all of these divorced dads. And so she's talking sort of about this and daddy issues. I'm thinking she's gonna fall for a guy with a kid. I started reading this last night at about 9:30 or 10, and I was so into it already. Just like the writing style was great for me. Yeah, I'm 6% in, which doesn't seem like a lot, but I literally was reading only for just a little bit. So I'm really interested in this one. And then I have a few more that I got. So I get I guess some of the smaller publishers is what gets sent to me, and that's totally fine. So there's Pumpkin About You by Athena Carstairs. And this is a Grumpy Sunshine fall book. Let's see, who's this from the publisher? Oh, this is HarperCollins, which they are really nice. I picked up a book called Bad Asians by Lillian Lee. This is by Henry Holt and Company, their publications. This actually doesn't come out until February, so I have time to read this one. And this one is about, I think it's a literary fiction more so, but it's about 4 friends who have been sort of typecast into like what is a good Asian, and then they start kind of breaking out of that when something goes viral. So that one sounded really good. I picked up Dating Dr. Love by Rachel Dove. This also comes out, well, this comes out in July, so I need to read that one quick. This is from Boldwood Books. I've never heard of them, but that was kind of cool and kind of them to send me that. This is just a rom-com fake dating scenario. Then I have Witch and Tell by Angela M. Sanders, and I love this series. So excited to have that one. This book comes out in October, and this is from Kensington Publishing. It's obviously a series, so either you know or you don't know, but super excited about that. And then Daddy Issues, I have the Julie Song is Undateable I've talked about. I have another Battle of the Bookshops, and then Fall I Want. So some of these are coming up. I think the most pressing ones would be this Pumpkin About You and Dating Dr. Love. Those ones are coming out very quickly, so I want to get those read. But anyway, on my NetGalley grind, super thankful. I'm also really interested in doing some work with authors, especially indie authors or just up-and-coming authors, whether it's helping them to edit or get anything out on social media. I don't know. That just sounds really fun to me as a part-time thing. Even if it was just for volunteer, I'd be down. Okay, and then lastly, today's new release Tuesday, and the only book, which I thought I had on my Kindle, but I don't, the only book that I was looking forward to was Overruled by Lana Ferguson. I did talk about this in my July TBR. Check that out if you haven't. And it's already starting out good. I literally just started reading it. Let's see, we got back at 4. I cooked dinner. We had baked potato bar, which is so delicious. So I probably read a total, not very long. Anyway, I'm already on page 40, and on chapter 4. This book is very spicy from the gate, but Lana Ferguson tends to be, and so it's already really good. And I'm so excited because this was the last one out at Barnes. Now, granted, they probably could have gotten more from the back or could have waited, but it was the last one on the table. So sped walked over there to pick it up. And I'm really enjoying it. So this is like my physical book, and then Daddy Issues is my Kindle book. Now here's the thing. I did also have some my NetGalley set up with my Kobo so that I could send books to Kobo, because sometimes they don't have full covers and that just messes up the aesthetic for me of my Kindle, but also so that I'm using my Kobo more. And now it says it's not connected, so I need to play with that a little bit. But that is the update for Tuesday, and I'll be back tomorrow. Hey Hey guys, happy Wednesday, popping on to give you an update, and I actually do have updates today, so it's so exciting. First, let me just say that I'm so glad that I took tomorrow off. I know I was like debating it in the beginning because I felt like I've taken a Friday off every Friday in June, but at the end of the day, that's what PTO is for, and this week, short, even though it's short, it's like a lot going on. So happy I can just read, I can stay up late tonight, it's gonna be great. Okay, so I did finish Problematic Summer Romance via audio today. And when I say finish, I mean I probably had like 4 chapters before I got to the epilogue, but I just kept moving because I was not really into it. Okay, so I ended up giving this book only 2 stars, and I really only gave it 2 stars because Ali Hazelwood is an author that I've read lots of her books, and this one just did not hit for me. So this book follows Connor and Maya. Connor and Maya have a huge age gap, and that's like the main plot of this story is their age gap, which was really, really annoying. But they are in Italy celebrating Maya's brother's wedding. And it's a destination wedding where everything's kind of going wrong, but they haven't seen each other in a while, maybe 3 years I want to say, but they have a past, and so we kind of get the dual timelines of them present and past. Presently, Connor's very grumpy and not trying to deal with Maya. Maya's trying to figure out like what's going on. There's also a couple of girls that are in the wedding that have some association with Connor, and so like there's just a lot going on. So I started this book when it came out, May 27th. It's now July 2nd, and I just finished, so that is a huge clue that this was not the book for me. Again, the age gap was a huge part of the story, which was really annoying, and it was a lot of will they, won't they. There was, so I went to the audio about 50% in, and I honestly think the audio made it worse. The guy Connor, he's Scottish or Irish, maybe Scottish, and he has this accent. It's just like not it on the audio. And then for whatever reason I was triggered. He kept calling her trouble or calling her a menace, and it was like every time he would say that, she was like all up in arms, like, and I just was tired of it. So I don't necessarily recommend this book, but it is an Ali Hazelwood book. If you want to support her as an author or whatever, you can read it, but I gave it 2 stars. Definitely not notable. What has been notable is Overruled by Lana Ferguson. I am about 130 pages into that, and it is so good so far. So we're following Danny and Ezra, and they are both attorneys who have been hooking up on the side for a while, but they often are in court together on opposing sides. So Danny's ready to sort of put a stop to the shenanigans of friends with benefits, but she keeps kind of going back. But then they end up getting on a divorce case in which they're on opposing sides. She's representing the wife, he's representing the husband, and they're having to sort of go head to head. And we have kind of unpacked a bit of their backstories. Danny's family, the reason I guess she does some of this work in divorce court is because her parents divorced. She feels seemingly out of nowhere, and they faked their whole marriage. So I think that's where she gets her lack of trust in marriages and just committed relationships. And then Ezra's family, I haven't heard about the mom, but the dad and the older brother are both in law, and they treat Ezra poorly, and so we're just kind of unpacking those. So I'm just at a part in the book where Danny's father has run into Ezra out and invited Ezra to a family sort of get together, and Danny has just seen that he's there and he's mingling, and she's annoyed because at this point she's told him that everything's strictly professional, don't contact me for anything, don't text me, like only work. And now that he's actually following that, she's a little hurt. So it's so good. I know I'm going to finish that quickly. And it's like, I know Lana Ferguson puts out her videos, you know, once a year, and I always forget how good they are because in my head it's like Lynn Painter, Ali Hazelwood, Elena Armas, and Lana Ferguson that all kind of clumped. They all started kind of coming out together, and but her writing is really, really good. Today also I did go to the library to pick up nothing, and then I found stuff, but I was really there to read, and then they had a book on the new sort of stand that I had seen everywhere. This is Slow Burn by Josie Silver. This one says, talent agent Charlie Francisco has 3 problems: a divorce that ended his screenwriting career, a business he never planned to inherit, and a take-your-breath-away romance novel whose author wants nothing to do with its publication. The book is a surefire hit if only his agency can find someone to play author on its summer book tour. Enter Kate Elliott, a former soap opera actress who's miraculously right for the part at the very moment her life seems to be going all wrong. Kate is still recovering from her own divorce, and Charlie's job offer is a lifeline. She agrees to the pretense of all interviews, signings, and appearances surrounding the novel's publication. But she can't know who really wrote the remarkable story, the one so beautiful it's made her believe in love again. When Kate and Charlie meet, they're all friction and sparks. The one thing that they have in common is the determination to play their respective parts. But as the summer heats up and the lies get bigger and bigger, can they stick to their lines or will they go off script? So that sounds really cute, and it was brand new. It just called to me. And then I picked up Scythe and Sparrow, which is a huge maybe. I did read Butcher and Blackbird. Leather and Lark, I got about 30% in and DNF'd it, and so I did hear that Scythe and Sparrow was better than Leather and Lark, and so we'll see. But this is one of those really, I guess it's a dark romance you would call it. In Butcher and Blackbird, they were they were murderers of serial killers, so they were kind of doing the Lord's work in a way. But then they also dated, and anyway, it was a really good book when you got down to the romance part of it. So we'll check this out, really in the back burner. And then lastly, on my Kindle, I am still reading Daddy Issues by Kate Goldbeck. This book is still really good. I am, let's see how far, 14% in, so not much more to report from yesterday. We're still just at the very beginning stages of the book. And we'll go from there. So that is the update for Wednesday. I'm going to read some more tonight because I don't have work tomorrow, and that's exciting. And I'm going to read tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. It's going to be great. I also deleted TikTok off of my main phone because it's just interfering. It's starting to loop again, and so I just take breaks periodically. And so we'll see how long this one lasts, but I'm just kind of tired of scrolling just to scroll. Okay, so that's the update for today. I'll be back tomorrow. Well, that did not go as I had planned. Today is now Saturday, and the last time we saw me was Wednesday. I was full of hopes and dreams and plans and goals, and here we are on Saturday. I really wanted to film stuff yesterday during 4th of July of just like fun stuff we were doing, but like low-key, it was exhausting yesterday, and it's just different. I think now that my kids are older, it's different. And so we just did our normal games, had a wonderful seafood boil, did some water stuff outside, did a fire pit at the end of the night, and then fireworks, and then we were like zonked out. And so, yeah, it was a good day, but I didn't get that much reading done yesterday. But I did finish a book, and I'm starting a few things, and I got my Book of the Month Club book. And so I will talk through all of those and then wrap this vlog up. Okay. So the last time we talked, I was deep into the book Overruled by Lana Ferguson. I did finish this, and I give this 5 stars. Guys, I don't remember the last time I given a romance 5 stars, and it truly earned all 5 of those stars, but Overruled was one of them. So again, this one follows Danica and Ezra. They are opposing lawyers, and they are working against each other on a case for a very high-profile divorce with lots of high stakes. And in the middle of this, they're trying to figure out their own situation because they've been hooking up for years, and Danica has her heart closed off for reasons, and Ezra is all in for other reasons. And so we kind of go through the A plot and B plot. A plot, obviously, well, and a C plot. So A plot is Danica and Ezra deciding if they're going to be a couple or not. B plot is the divorce and sort of the lawyer-esque hunt mystery of like finding out who's at fault. And then the C plot would be like the family stuff, especially with Ezra's side. Danica's family stuff was like her own stuff she was holding, not like a huge element. But I really, really liked the book. I forget sometimes how well Lana Ferguson writes. I wish she put out more than 1 book a year. Oh no, she does. I think she's got another one coming out too, but she sometimes does just the straight books like this, and sometimes some of the paranormal, like I think she did Fake Mate last year, I want to say. Anyway, really enjoyed this book, so I highly recommend it. I wish I had the digital copy because I appreciate the digital copy as well. However, this was amazing. Nice floppy book. The font is a good size, and they do a lot of texting, so that's always a plus in a book when you've got some speedy text messages going on between the couple. So highly recommend this book. It is spicy, but it's not overly spicy where the plot is lost. I found that overall really good. The spicy parts I could skip. I think it starts off with the spicy part, so you like jump right into it, so you can kind of get the vibe. But the scenes, I want to say that maybe 3 to 4 within the book, nothing super crazy. So highly recommend. Then after that, I've been on my Kindle game. So I'm reading a few books right now on the Kindle. So one book I'm reading, hold on. Okay, I'm reading a couple of the e-arcs that I have right now. So as I told you guys, I was reading, what is it called? I really had to pause to figure out what it was. It is Daddy Issues by Kate Goldbeck. She wrote the book You Again. This is really cute, but it's a little dense. So not, there's just a lot on each page, if that makes sense. But this book follows our main character who is living with her mom, bartending as she is trying to get into, or she's waiting to go to grad school. And she's not super happy with the fact that she's living with her mom. Obviously, it's a step back. Her mom is actually getting married to her partner. And so it's just like an awkward time. And in the same apartment building is a guy who is a dad, and his daughter and the main girl meet at the pool because the daughter like sucks her into a game and she kind of plays. And now they kind of have seen each other back and forth because the dad often helps the main character's mom with house projects and whatnot. And so the daughter's like, hey, don't set me up. Like, I don't want to date anybody right now. And the mom's like, I'm not even worried about you. I have a friend of a friend of a friend who would love him. And so I'm about 35% in. And the dad and the main character have spent some time together because she was locked out of her apartment, but nothing isolated and alone. There are friend vibes, not fully like sparks yet. However, when the mom tells the daughter, hey, I have a friend who would love him, and starts telling him about it, you could tell she's definitely jealous. So there's that book. Then I just started Bad Asians. This is another e-arc, and this book is, I just barely started it, so I'm not that far into it. But this book is about 4 friends who are in fact Asian, and they are documented on this, I guess a YouTube type documentary that their friend made, and it's getting some backlash because they're not your typical Asian, I guess. And so we're going through how they met and just like the lifelong journey of them being friends. Generally, that is my bag. I love the writing style, and so I'm full force into that one. I'm only about 10% in though, and the issue with that is that I don't love when each chapter is super long. So like we have chapters that are 50 minutes long, 30 minutes long, and it's like, okay. So we'll see what happens. So I'm reading that one. And then I did get my Book of the Month Club book. I picked 2 books this time. One sounded good online, but now it doesn't. And then I picked the Frederick Bachman books. I will show you. So the first book I picked up was these Summer Storms by Sarah McLean. And I was looking for something not romance, and so I wanted to find something else, which I found. But this book kind of reminds me of the Jackpot Summer, and I didn't really love that, so hopefully it's different. But this one follows a family, the Storm family, specifically Alice. Her father passes away. She has moved away from like the summer island, wherever the Rhode Island coast 5 years ago, and has not returned. But when her father passes away, obviously she comes back, hoping to like keep her head down and not be a part of any of the reunion part or whatever. However, she can't do that because the father has created sort of like an inheritance game around what he is giving, and they have different challenges. which that throws me because I don't really love that element of it. I've read a couple of books like that and they're not my favorite. However, during the week that they're doing these challenges, we're also like, all of the siblings have different things going on. So the older sister has a secret love affair. Okay, so the sister has like a secret love affair going on. The brother has some type of arrogant something going on. The younger sister is just like vibing. And so hopefully this is more like family drama, literary fiction than Inheritance Games sort of thing. And then I picked up Fredrik Backman, My Friends. Now, the only other book I've read by Fredrik Backman was Anxious People, and I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. However, I've heard a lot about this book, and it was an add-on. So, and I actually had a free credit, so I didn't even pay anything for this. So that was exciting. I was willing to pay the $10 or $11, well now it's $12, it's like $11.99. I'm willing to pay that on a $30 book, but this one was free. So it says, most people don't even notice them. 3 tiny figures sitting at the end of a long pier in the corner of one of the most famous paintings in the world. Most people think it's just a depiction of a wide expanse of sea, but Louisa, soon to be 18 years old and aspiring artist herself, knows otherwise. She's determined to find out the story behind these 3 enigmatic figures. More than 2 decades before, in a distant seaside town, a group of teenagers find refuge from their bruising home lives by spending long summer days on an abandoned pier, telling silly jokes, sharing secrets, and committing small acts of rebellion. These lost souls find in each other a reason to get up every morning, a reason to dream, a reason to love. Out of that summer emerges a transcendent work of art, a painting that after a chance encounter in an alleyway will unexpectedly be placed into Louisa's care. She embarks on a surprise-filled cross-country journey to discover how the painting came to be and to decide what to do with it. The closer she gets to the painting's birthplace, the more anxious she becomes about what she'll find. Louisa's complicated life is proof that happy endings are sometimes possible, but they don't always take the form we expect them to. Fredrik Backman's signature charm, humor, and attention to the poignant details of everyday life are on full display in this funny, moving novel. Okay, so we'll see how that goes. I'm not in a rush to read this one. I just wanted it on my bookshelf ready for when I needed it. So yeah, that's kind of what has been happening. Like I said, I'm in the middle of quite a few books on my Kindle and just trying to get through those. I'm trying not to hit a slump. I know. Not that a slump, but I just want to relax. I've been so exhausted. Like, I'm going to sleep at maybe like 11, 10:30, sleeping until like 8:40, 8:45, which is not like me because I wake up at like 6 a.m. during the regular week. And then I'm taking a nap midday. So it's like I'm getting too much sleep. And so I just need to focus. I did remove TikTok, I think I said that already, off of my phone again, so I'm not just like randomly scrolling. But I do need to just like hunker down. And I think right now I'm just kind of like cherry picking a few books. I don't have one that I'm like super invested in. Oh, that reminds me, there's one other book I was reading on my Kindle. It is called City of Nightbirds. This is a literary fiction. It was on sale on the ebook Daily Deals. And this one is following, I think she's Russian, a Russian ex-ballerina who comes back to her hometown after an injury, and she's kind of like reliving and getting acclimated back to the town. I'm only on chapter 2, so I don't know what else is going on, but it's giving Black Swan vibes a bit, but we'll see. So there's just lots of little things that I'm reading, trying to pick up and make time to do. So yeah, I think that's everything for this sort of weekly reading vlog. I think I might name this like weekly reading vlog sort of, but I did check in a few times, so let's give it credit for that. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.